I'm here with the cast of Sharmaji Namkeen. Guys, welcome to India today.
Thank you.
We've all been through the pandemic. We've all done our Zoom calls. We've all done our bits of getting over that. And when we see a trailer like this, which literally brings a smile to our face, it brings that warmth to our heart, something that has been missing in our lives for the longest time. This conversation definitely then seems exciting to have. I want to start with Pareshji and talk to you about the opening frame of the trailer, where we see you and Rishiji wearing almost similar sweaters. And I couldn't help but notice Rishiji's love for sweaters and the fact that he was known for his iconic sweaters throughout his career. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, पहली बात तो ये कि मैंने ट्रेलर देखा नहीं है। दूसरी बात ये कि स्वेटर की बात मत कीजिए मैं कभी मुझसे बर्दाश्त नहीं होता था। हर सीन के अंदर मैं ये सोचता था कि ऋषि जी ने ये पहना ही क्यों? वो नहीं पहनते तो भी अच्छा ही होता था।
The reason being because it was very hot when we were shooting.
Yeah, when we started, because when they were shooting, it was winter. हमने शुरू किया तो
समर हो
गया था। एंड तो मुझे कहानी बहुत जबरदस्त लगी है और ये मैं अपने आप को बड़ा ही सौभाग्यशाली समझता हूँ कि ऐसी कहानी के अंदर, ऐसी फिल्म के अंदर मुझे काम करने का मौका मिला और इस तरह से मिला कि एज एन एक्टर भी आपको मजा है, आप ट्रिब्यूट भी दे रहे इतने बेहतरीन आर्टिस्ट को, बेहतरीन इंसान भी मैं कहूँगा। तो इट वॉज अ काइंड ऑफ विन विन सिचुएशन फॉर मी एंड आई एम थैंकफुल टू हितेश जी, हमारे डायरेक्टर, एंड हमारे प्रोड्यूसर हनीत रेहान जी, रितेश जी, फरहान अख्तर जी, ये सबको मैं थैंक यू कहना चाहूँगा। और ट्रेलर देखा नहीं।
Right. Okay. Juhi, he made a very interesting point on Behtareen Insan. I mean, of course, we all know Rishi ji as a powerhouse performer. We can speak in volumes about that. But as a person, as a human being, you knew him very well, up close and personal. I want to sort of take you back in time to that space when you first met him. Like throwback, back in the day when you had your first encounter. What was the one thing that stayed with you after that meeting?
So I've known Chintu ji for years because I've seen him throughout my career. I can just tell you instances because it was the music launch of QSQT. Nasir Saab had called him as the chief guest. So he was the big star. And Amir and me बिल्कुल ऐसे जैसे junior artist वहाँ पर उनके साथ खड़े हुए फोटो लेने के लिए. Then I worked with him in one of my early films. कल्पतरु जी की कोई फिल्म थी, उसका नाम मैं भूल रही हूँ. And I
think मैं भी था उसमें.
हैं? सच्ची?
मैंने बहुत फिल्मों में काम किया।
Yeah, that was घर की कहानी, घर की कहानी वो ऐसे फैमिली ड्रामास बहुत बनाते थे। That time I was very very new and I'm giving a shot with Chintu ji. Camera is on me. I am shaking in my knees because उनके सामने मैं अगर डायलॉग भूल गई तो मेरी तो मतलब I would want कि यार जमीन फट जाए, मैं अंदर चली जाऊँ. So I was so nervous. And he was himself. He was like a star. And effortless acting, first take okay. So all the more you get nervous कि भगवान मेरी मदद कर देना, ये shot ठीक कर देना किसी तरह. Then over the years I got to know him a little better. I also became a little more experienced in front of the camera, so it was okay. Then he was great fun. Loved playing crosswords. He was very good at them. And he'd demolish you and make fun of you also. He was... what do I say? You've also known him for many years.
Yeah. But full of life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
और दूसरी बात है, कोई मैलिस नहीं है मन में, कोई गंदगी नहीं है, कोई हिडन एजेंडा नहीं है, कोई आपके लिए किसी के भी कोई सिनिस्टर डिजाइन लेके बंदा नहीं चला है. वरना हम जानते हैं यहाँ पे जो स्टार हो जाते कितने सर्कस चलते रहते दिमाग में. दिस गाय वाज बिल्कुल ऐसी बात नहीं थी.
Absolutely. And coming to the captain of the ship, pressure, I don't want to use that word, but clearly there must have been moments where you are looking at the frame and realizing that I am getting to work with these legends. Legends is a word that we use very loosely, but just performers who they are so good at their craft, they enjoy what they do on the screen. And your first film. How did you manage to deal with that pressure, knowing that, this big project?
See, honestly, the pressure was a little bit off because right from the writing stage, from day one, I had really thought of Rishi ji and Juhi ji both. And I was very confident of the script, and I was hoping that, both of them will say yes. And, the fact that they came on board and they really had a great equation, a great working equation and all that, that was the pressure. And that pressure actually came from other sources, like my family, my father and all that. Arey, Rishi ji or Juhi ji together, arey, wo to aisa, wo to waisa. So it's not that I was very conscious of that, but then people around it, made me feel that I have a bigger responsibility, so to speak, to make sure. But honestly, instead of the pressure, my life just became easier. My life just became easier because when they came on set, like Rishi ji had no process whatsoever. Like he won't read the scenes, he won't do any readings. There was nothing. He will just read it in the vanity, like, हाँ चलो take करते हैं.
Except one, sing sound में नहीं मानते थे.
हाँ, मतलब,
Wow.
So that way, it was just an effortless thing that he will come, give a shot, and
and he'd give a really good shot. That was my problem also with him on the sets, because he was just, no effort in getting the right nuances that he wanted, and it was just happening.
So I think with both of them coming on board, like my life just became easier. Even Juhi ji, and the fact that we had that process, we did so many readings, and that was in a way a very big learning curve for me also, because it was my first film, so at every step I was learning something new, that okay, this is how it should be done, this is how this thing and all that. And when Paresh ji came in the picture, it was just a very different thing altogether. It was a very difficult time for all of us, and also it was a very emotional call. I remember very, very clearly that Paresh ji saw the rushes, he read the script, and I think within 10 minutes or 15 minutes he said ki nahi, Chintu ki last film mein ye to karte hain Hitesh, I'm on, we'll finish this film. So it's a very difficult thing for an actor to do something like this. I wanted to finish the film, Ritesh, Farhan, Hani, Chaube, everyone wanted to finish the film, but for an actor to come in this kind of a scenario is a very difficult thing. So it was very generous of him, very brave of him. And then when he came, honestly, I never felt that there is any difference.
Correct.
And I really mean it. Within 1 hour of the shoot, all my anxieties were just gone. I sent the footage back to the edit after shooting just to see that, how this thing will look like. And then it was all fine.
Yeah. So Rishi ji is also known to sort of have this very witty sense of humor, which not everybody gets. You really need to catch that. Were there any such instances on set? Juhi, you want to share a few? You're nodding.
You should ask Juhi what she used to call us. Tom and Jerry.
I used to call them Tom and Jerry. Hitesh ji, Paresh ji ne, Hitesh ji and Chintu ji. Because, नहीं आप ही बताइए ना क्यों?
See, when we started working together, he has a towering personality, and he says whatever comes to his mind. So he's not like कि अरे हाँ और बताओ क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं, हाँ चलो यार ये करो shot लगाओ. So it was like, it took me a little while. So actually one day Rishi ji and I had a little difference. I wanted him to do something which he refused flat out. I tried. So, and I also just, got a little irritated. But I am telling you, you have to do this. He's like, no, I will not do this. I go, okay, don't do it. So then he said, let's read the scene. I go, then there is no need to read the scene. I will see you on the set. I was in Vanity. So I left the Vanity and I was crossing the road to go on the set. And suddenly his makeup man called me. Sir, aapko andar bula rahe वापस. Then I shit, पंगा ले लिया मैंने. जूते पड़ेंगे आगे. He's going to call Ritesh ki director बदलो. So I went inside the Vanity and I was now genuinely scared.
Right.
Ki shit, ये तो गलत हो गया. And अंदर जाकर now he is screaming at me. What do you want? I will do what you want. At this age, you want me to do this, do that, and ta. I will do what you want. Just don't make a fool out of me, this, that. And so are you okay? He's like, yeah, just stop giving me so much grief.
That's what Chintu ji, no?
So now I figured that he's a kid.
Right.
He's a kid. You can't deal with him like, ki sir aise waise. You just have to deal with him like how you deal, with a kid. So within that fight, I'm asking him, acha theek hai, lunch mein biryani khaoge? He's like, mutton biryani khate. And that's it.
That was it.
And then after that, we just had that equation that we just kept fighting. We just, I never, we were just having fun. We are fighting. He's pulling my legs. He's
and this I've seen all happening. And I used to keep looking at the DOP and saying, please, thoda sa, behind the scenes, just roll it. This is too funny.
That's why she used to call us Tom and Jerry, because it was just like became this fun ride after that.
Yeah, and the mahal on the set, obviously when Rishi ji is there, is all of this, like you said. There are so many such stories that we've heard of him when he's on set, and that was the beauty of him. He was all jokes and fun and laughter. I want to come to you guys, because this must be damn exciting for you both to sort of be in this film and get this sort of talent to work with, just the sheer names on the poster. It must be outstanding. Suhail, I want to start with you and talk to you about what has been your learning. Because talent like you must be absorbing a lot on set. You learn a lot. You look at people. What has been your takeaway from the performances that you've had with these talents?
First of all, it has been a very emotional journey because we've been through a lot with the film, and I learned a lot as a human being while working on this film, like a lot about resilience and persistence. But that's that. But in terms of acting, I was really surprised and in awe of Rishi ji, his process, because I had a lot of workshops, I did a lot of readings with Hitesh sir, and we sat on the character. I made my backstories and everything, and then I came on the set, and there was this scene. I had a long chunk, like there was a confrontation, sort of a scene between me and my father, and we were just gonna have it. And I told Hitesh sir, ये ना पूरा करते हैं और ये ना ऐसे ऐसे करूँगा, यहाँ पे ये बीट लूँगा. एक पेज हमने किया और we were just like रोल हुआ, we were shooting और मैं कर रहा हूँ अपना, और ऋषि जी ने बोला बस कट. मैंने कहा पर वो मेरी बीट, बोला एक एक पेज करके करेंगे. And I looked at Hitesh sir, and then I realized that his process is switch on, switch off. Like he doesn't need a backstory. He's a veteran and he doesn't need anything, but he's there. And then I went back to my van and I was like, ये होता है यार. You have to achieve this. Like you don't have to go through every process. Right. Like इतना grueling नहीं होना चाहिए आपके लिए. Like you should be able to just switch on, switch off in the character. Right. And I was in awe. And the same thing is with Paresh sir.
Yeah, exactly the same thing happened with him also. Right. Because again, sorry, but I just thought that, now like another person is coming, so we will do this and we will read and we will talk. So I asked him, क्या है? He's like, हाँ, पढ़ लिया मैंने, करते हैं, कभी कल से है, मैंने कहा, but you want to discuss anything? वो नहीं, ठीक है सब. I was like, okay.
That just goes to show their mindset and where they come from and their technique, which is so different and evolved from anybody else. And I'm guessing Juhi also, because you have worked with talent, you worked with actors over the years. What has been your most exciting part of making this film? Like in terms of your character, she seems to be having a lot of fun from whatever little stuff you've seen. There's a kitty party situation happening. When the film came to you, apart from the fact that slice of life, feel good, what was the reason that you said yes? Because I know you're very selective about the stuff that you're doing right now.
So I'd say I heard the script and straight away, there was no question about it. It's a wonderful, warm, funny
slice of life.
Yeah, it's so fun that there's no way you're going to say anything else but yes. I at that moment, as an actor, as a person, I envied Chintu ji, because at that time it was Chintu ji ki inka itna wonderful role hai, and one little part is me. Chalo. Then of course the other thing that I find very amusing is like directors like Hitesh ji and Nagesh Kukunur and who make little different kind of cinema. They'll take me and then they'll tell me, please, kuch nahi karna. Don't speak loudly. Don't move your hands too much. Just be very normal. Be very... Because I'm supposed to be still the most sane, sensible person amongst my group. So they're actually telling me, just calm down and try to be as normal as you can. So mere liye that is a challenge. Acha, now I think I'll stop saying something anymore.
So we got that. And again, just like we were having this conversation of how everybody's dynamic is so different on set, and there's so much of learning of somebody being a human being, how warm and affectionate he is, and an actor and a talent. What was your experience? And as a child growing up, obviously we have all watched movies of Rishi ji and Paresh ji and Juhi, all of them. Songs, memories we have. What was it like?
It was to be honest, it's one of the greatest experiences of my life to be in this situation, because our dynamic slowly changed. I remember when it was early days on set, we were intimidated. Both of us, we were intimidated, scared, nervous, all of those things. Matlab, I was so just losing my mind.
Yeah.
It was very scary to sit in front of Rishi Kapoor and do a scene. In fact, one day what happened, he actually covered for me. We were doing a scene where it was between me and him, and I got so invested in looking at him. I swear, he was so good. So I went like I had a dumb look on my face where I went, wow. like he did his thing. And then suddenly he's waiting for me to say my line and I am not there. So he said cut and he's like, okay, one more. And he's obviously perfect. So he's like, why one more? And he's quickly taken me to the corner and said, he's like, no, sir, some issue happened technically. I was like, I was like, what he was saying, I was in awe. Like, it was like, how can you be like right now, 2 minutes before that, we were talking about food, which is something we did a lot. We spoke a lot about food. And, there was a very warm dynamic that had been created because it was the three of us in one room. Like, again, the same with Paresh ji later on. We were the three of us were always together and we would have conversations because it had turned to a point where we just had each other to talk to.
And that was his conversation starter with us.
Yeah.
कि खाना खाया, क्या खाया?
और रात को क्या खाने वाले? कल रात को
sometimes we have had that discussion at 10:30 in the morning कि lunch में क्या है? And I'm telling him अभी 10:30 बजे shoot करें. He's like, हाँ वो तो ठीक है, lunch में क्या खाएंगे?
But his love for food is known. I mean, we all know he was a man who relished his food. Anytime somebody would get stuff on the set or there is a dabba. I mean, Juhi, do you have any memories like that with food coming on set back in the day and him just relishing that and enjoying those moments?
Actually, we had, again, it was an Excel film, Luck by Chance, where we were playing this Punjabi couple, producer and his wife, very typical and all into food. And the wife is more health conscious and she sends him sprouts and everything to the office for lunch. And he wants his chicken biryani and paneer makhani. So, I mean, we haven't done this in real life, but actually on screen. And it was so, true for him that his dabba would probably be healthy and he'd be like, what is this? Where is my food? So, yeah.
And Paresh, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good or bad a cook you are? Because in the film, we see you sprinkle things and wrap things and try to cook things.
पानी बॉईल कर सकता हूँ. Nothing beyond that. But चिंटू साहब का जो I was directed by him in his first directorial venture अपना आप लॉर्ड चले.
Yes.
तो जैसे मैं न्यूयॉर्क उतरा हूँ दूसरा ही दिन परेश come here. You like Chinese food? Go to Chin Chin. It is on the 45th Street. You like Japanese? Go to Otabe on the 65th Street. You like catfish? Go to Virgil Grill. माने जो बड़ी जितनी भी रेस्टोरेंट है सबके नाम बता दी. इधर ये खाना. So passionate about food. अरे amazing. Amazing.
Absolutely. And Hitesh, you recently had a trial for the film. I believe Neetu ji and the family has seen the film. What was the feedback like from Ranbir, from Neetu ji, from Ridhima, all of them?
So it was a very, I would say, a very emotional experience for all of them to come together and watch the film. It is Rishi ji's last film. So I don't really think that there was any feedback as such because they really had a lot of love for the film and they genuinely, with all their heart, they were all praises for the film and this thing. But also, above all, it is just an emotional experience for them. So I think that all of them were just very, very overwhelmed. And the only takeaway I would say is that I had a great responsibility on my shoulders because when all the producers, everyone came together to support that we will finish the film and we'll see it through against all odds. So, and it is Rishi Kapoor's last film. So, so for all his fans and including his family, it was my responsibility to make a film that they're proud of, and that they can share it with the world. So I think that happened and they are very happy and I'm sure they're very proud of, to see the film through.
Yeah, I think emotional is what all of us get when we see, even in the trailer, when he just comes on screen, you can't help but realize that, that loss is just, it's never ever, there's a vacuum that's never going to ever be filled. the talent, the person that he was, the large-heartedness of his. All of us have met him, and we've all had the same experience. Paresh ji, on a lasting note, I want to just talk to you and maybe get you into that emotional space, because I can only imagine how it must be feeling for all of you guys when you're watching parts of this, or when you will see the film. It must be a different experience. It must be so emotional, right? And you knew him so well as a person.
Yeah, मैं इमोशनल था. मैंने एज एन एक्टर कि अगर आपकी जिंदगी में ऐसी स्क्रिप्ट आती, बेहतरीन स्क्रिप्ट, और आप उसे कंप्लीट नहीं कर पाते हो, तो एज एन एक्टर मैं समझ सकता हूँ क्या लॉस होता है एक्टर के दिमाग में. तो वो तो मैं अभी भी जो आप कहते हैं कि वो कभी वो पूरा नहीं होगा. और दूसरी बात इमोशनल ये था कि जस्टिस देना स्क्रिप्ट को. देखिए, मैं ऋषि जी के परफॉर्मेंस को जस्टिस देने की बात इसलिए नहीं कर रहा क्योंकि नहीं तो वो मिमिक्री हो जाती, लेकिन ये जो किरदार है जिसके साथ मैं अच्छी, तो इसलिए जो कहते हैं हितेश भाई की, परेश ने पढ़ा और बोला कि नहीं ठीक है, क्योंकि आई कुड आइडेंटिफाई विद दैट मटेरियल. तो मेरे लिए बड़ा आसान था. अच्छा, ये है. कुछ ज्यादा मुझे डिस्कस करने की जरूरत नहीं लगी थी. तो ऐसी अगर स्क्रिप्ट आती है तो उसको लेके जाना बिल्कुल अच्छी तरह से, वो एक बर्डन था. और दूसरी बात ये थी कि ये पेइंग ट्रिब्यूट टू सच अ फाइन गाय, तो वो भी एक था. तो मेरे लिए उस किस्म का इमोशनल बर्डन नहीं था. हाँ, इसको जस्टिस देना है वो मेरे ध्यान में था, स्क्रिप्ट को, ये किरदार को, ना ही कि जो ऋषि साहब ने किया है उसको उसकी मिमिक्री करना नहीं.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. I think on that note, this definitely is a film that is special for so many reasons. It's definitely going to bring a smile on all our faces. And the fact that we are getting to see actors who we love, adore, and we are back at the big screens. The pandemic is over. There could be no other offering as more special than Sharmaji Namkeen. I'm so excited to watch the film. Thank you so much to the cast for speaking to India today. We'll see you at the movies soon.
Thank you so much.